Dear friends, the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 is being introduced by the BJP government at the center. Joint Parliamentary Committee is holding meeting with the representatives, and the government is trying everything to get this bill passed and to make the bill into an act. This bill has been opposed by a large number of people, and they fear that if the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 is passed, then it will further deprive the minority Muslims community of the little resources belonging to the community for the welfare of the poor, the needy, the women, and the downtrodden. So today we are going to briefly look at the bill, look at the changes which are being introduced in this bill, and why the changes and the new bill are going to negatively affect the minority Muslims community. But before I move further, let me first tell you the meaning of the term Waqf. Friends, if you consult Arabic dictionary, the term Waqf means a standing, something that is standing, something that is constructed. But in the case of Waqf bill, the term Waqf refers to the properties which have been donated by the Muslims community in the name of Allah, and that property are to be used, are to be managed for the welfare of the community, particularly the poor and the needy. There are some reports which suggest that Waqf property in India are in large number. I think their number exceeds the number of Waqf property elsewhere in the world. So Waqf properties could be estimated at lakhs of crores, and if that properties are managed and used properly, then the backwardness of the Muslims community could be addressed to a large extent. Many scholars have argued that Islam is basically a religion for the needy, for the poor. It is not the religion of the rich. If you read Quran, you will find that prayer, offering namaz are as important as doing welfare activities. So in Quran, the references to praying and doing welfare activities, feeding the poor, helping the needy, doing good to the neighbor are clubbed together. So service of humanity is inseparable part of worship of the God. And the institution of charity and welfare are very strong in Islam, and pious Muslims believe that they should donate a share of their property to be used for the welfare of the needy, the poor, and that donated property are later recognized, later treated as Waqf properties. One thing we have to keep in mind, that once person has donated his or her property as Waqf property, that act cannot be undone. So, India has a large number of Waqf properties spread across the country, and there are several reports which suggest till September 2024 the country has 8.7 lakh registered immovable Waqf properties. Please note that it is 8.7 lakh Waqf properties till September 2024. People keep donating, so the number keeps rising. Friends, Waqf properties in India is claimed to be the largest Waqf properties in the world, and according to such a committee 2006, the market values of Waqf properties is estimated to be rupees 1.2 lakh crore. Waqf property is managed well, then the problems related to health, education, relief work of the Muslims, particularly those who are poor, those who are needy, can be addressed to a large extent. But the sad part of the Waqf property is that it has not been managed well. The Waqf properties are being encroached by individuals, by the rich people, and by the government and its agencies. There are also some corrupt people in the Waqf councils and Waqf boards, and they also play their part in making these situations worse. So the need of the hour is that Waqf property should be freed from encroachment. Waqf property should be protected. Waqf property should be managed well. Modern technology should be used, and the management should be done in such a way that it could generate profit, and that profit can be used not to satisfy the greed of any particular person, but to help the needy and the poor. So the social welfare should be the main target to achieve as far as the income of the Waqf properties is concerned. But the sad part is that Waqf property is being encroached by the greedy people and by different agencies. Friends, if you want to know more about Waqf property and the problems related to it, kindly read such a committee report. It is available online. And in such a committee, please read chapter number 11 that exclusively deals with the Waqf questions. Now, let me again go back to Waqf Amendment Bill, which was introduced in the Parliament on August 8, 2024. That is some 4 months back. And as I have told you, JPC Joint parliamentary committee is holding its meeting. It is meeting representatives, and the government is trying hard to get this bill passed. The BJP government is dependent on Janata Dal United and Telugu Desam Party for getting majority in the Lok Sabha. So, we are not sure if the government will be able to convince JDU and TDP to support this bill. The major criticism of this bill is that it is not aiming at protecting the Waqf properties and better managing Waqf property for the welfare of the Muslims community, but the bill is trying to snatch Muslims' property. This has been one of the major allegations of those who have opposed this bill. There are 2 or 3 very important objections that are being made against the bill. The first is that the compositions of the Waqf Council and the Waqf Board are being changed, and non-Muslim members could be made member of the Waqf Council and Waqf Board. At a state level, to manage the Waqf properties, Waqf Board is set up, and at the center level, Waqf Council is established. So now there is a new plan to bring in non-Muslim members on the Waqf Council and Waqf Board. There is a fear by the opposition party that in the name of bringing non-Muslim members to the Waqf Council and Waqf Board, the BJP government is trying to bring in those who are close to Hindutva organizations, diluting the minority character of that institution. It is being seen as one of the majoritarian assault on the minority institutions. Many scholars argue that the properties which were donated by the pious Muslims to be used for the welfare of the needy and the poor, that is why to change the compositions of Waqf Council and Waqf Board, these are majoritarian assault on the rights of the minorities. Another objection is that the tribunal, which had major say in deciding the matter, the dispute related to Waqf property, is now being weakened, and the dispute is going to be resolved, going to be decided by the district collector if the new bill is passed. The new bill puts all the responsibility on the collector, district collector, to decide, to take the decision in the matter related to Waqf Board property dispute. So the big objection to such a move is being made that the district collector is the representative of the government. District collector does his or her duty following the instructions of the government. So how could the representative of the government can be given the sole authority to decide the dispute in the matter related to Waqf property, where The encroachers also include government and its agency. The Waqf property is being encroached by individual, by the rich people, and by the government and its agencies. So the question is, if the government is the party, then how could the representative of the party involved in the dispute can be given the responsibility to decide the case? This is the violation of the basic jurisprudence. If you read such a committee, page number 222, chapter number 11, the Waqf boards have given their complaints to the Sachar committee that their properties are being encroached by the state agencies. Here I would like to briefly talk about the number of properties, Waqf properties, which are being encroached by the government and its agency as alleged by the Waqf boards and Waqf council to the Sachar committee. And the Sachar committee has given the data on page number 222. In Delhi, the total number of Waqf properties encroached by government and its agency is 316. In Rajasthan 60, in Karnataka 42, in Madhya Pradesh 53, in Uttar Pradesh 60, in Orissa 53. So you could see here that the government and its agencies have been accused of encroaching Waqf properties. It has also been argued that the dues to be cleared by the government to the Waqf properties has also not been paid. So we could see here that Waqf properties are facing assaults from the multiple sides, from individual to the rich people to the government. They are all eyeing at the Waqf properties. And if Waqf properties are managed well, then the minority communities and their problems can be addressed to a large extent and welfare activities can be done. But if those properties are snatched, if those properties are taken back, then the conditions of minorities will become even more and more worse. So the need of the hour is that minority rights should be protected. The need of the hour is that minority institutions should be strengthened. The need of the hour is that Waqf board and Waqf council should be strengthened. They should be given more and more power. They should be linked to modern technology. They should be managed well so that the profit could be generated, and that profit could be used to address the poverty and the other issues of the Muslims community. So if you look at the Sachar committee, it has given some suggestions that how could Waqf properties can be better managed. It has talked about the financial audit of the Waqf property. It has talked about reforms in Waqf council and Waqf board. It has talked about managing and monitoring Waqf property for the welfare of the needy and the poor. And it has also said that the UPSC should introduce a new cadre and recruit around 200 officers of the A grade, and they should be trained in Islamic knowledge and legal matters. They could have knowledge of the Urdu, and these people, these officers, should be given responsibility to better manage the Waqf properties. So the need of the hour is that Waqf properties should be better managed for the welfare of the community. But it is sad that the BJP government is bringing law in such a way that it is diluting the power of the Waqf councils and Waqf board, and it is tampering with the compositions of the Waqf council and Waqf board, and it is giving overwhelming power to the district collector, and the district collector being the part of the government, the representative of the government cannot be expected to do justice in all the cases when there is a dispute and the party is the government. So there is a need to resist such majoritarian assault on the institutions of the minorities, and we have to keep in mind that the successful democracy is the one where minorities are given effective and proportionate representation, as said by Baba Sahib Ambedkar in his a small book, States and Minorities. Without safeguarding the interest of minorities, no democracy can be successful. Baba Sahib Ambedkar has said repeatedly throughout his life that democracy is not about majoritarian tyranny. Democracy is all about having a government that is bringing about revolutionary social change in social and economic domain for the welfare of the people, and it is sensitive to the needs and the sentiments of the minority communities. This